Hey, I'm Matt, and welcome to Nothing New, where we explore the ancient roots of modern culture. If you've ever heard of today's philosopher, Xenophanes, it was probably for his famous criticism of the poets and popular religion in general for its human, all too human portrayal of the gods. He had the age-old gripe that if the gods were wholly good and perfect, why do they have so many human issues and why do they seem so fallible? Most anyone who has had an introduction to ancient Greek myth knows how much Zeus cheated on Hera, and it wasn't just modern readers who were a little weirded out by it. Xenophanes was not just weirded out, he actively argued against the harmful stories of the poets. This opinion would later be echoed by Plato, who thought they should be outright censored. And examples like these give us insight into the conflict between popular culture and aristocratic culture. The fragments of Xenophanes show his distaste for the famous poets. For example, he once said that Homer and Hesiod have attributed to the gods all sorts of things that are matters of reproach and censure among men: theft, adultery, and mutual deception. Xenophanes appears to be one of the earliest figures in Greek philosophy to begin to hold a more monotheistic and perhaps pantheistic worldview. As Aristotle said, with regard to the whole universe, he says that the one is the God. In the fragments of his poetry, he talks about how God is one, supreme among gods and men, and not like mortals in body or mind. And of course, he also criticized the personification of the gods that was so common in ancient Greece, saying that mortals think that the gods are born and have the mortal's own clothes and voice and form. But if cattle and horses and lions had hands, or could paint with their hands and create works such as men do, horses like horses and cattle like cattle also would depict the gods' shapes and make their bodies of such a sort as the form they themselves have. Ethiopians say that their gods are snub-nosed and black, Thracians that they are pale and red-haired. He was one of the earliest skeptics, considering that no human could truly have knowledge of the divine or how it operates in the world. But like the Milesians, he still sought out physical explanations for the world he saw around him. As philosopher Anthony Kenny says, though Xenophanes' cosmology is ill-founded, it is notable for its naturalism. It is free from the animist and semi-religious elements to be found in other pre-Socratic philosophers. The rainbow, for instance, is not a divinity, like Iris in the Greek pantheon, nor a divine sign, like the one seen by Noah. It is simply a multicolored cloud. This naturalism did not mean that Xenophanes was uninterested in religion. On the contrary, he was the most theological of all the pre-Socratics, but he despised popular superstition and defended an austere and sophisticated monotheism. He was not dogmatic, however, either in theology or in physics. There is a story that Pythagoras defended a dog from a man who was kicking it, saying he heard the voice of his deceased friend in the barking. But it's more likely that this story was invented by Xenophanes to poke fun of his belief in reincarnation. He was skeptical of how much knowledge anyone could really acquire, saying that, of course, the clear and certain truth no man has seen, nor will there be anyone who knows about the gods and what I say about all things. For even if, in the best case, one happened to speak just of what has been brought to pass, still, he himself would not know, but opinion is allotted to all. If you look at what little biographical information we have about his life, it's not surprising he developed a skeptical, more realistic, and some would say cynical philosophy. He was banished from his own city, buried his sons with his own hands, and even endured slavery for a period. Though how much of all of this was made up by later writers is obviously uncertain for such an early figure. But one thing is for certain, he influenced many major thinkers after him, including Plato and Aristotle. Though modern scholarship has thrown doubt on the claims of ancient writers, both Eleatic and skeptic thinkers would claim him as the founder of their school of thought. It wouldn't be until the modern era that we begin to see thinkers who would take up that incredible core idea that popular religion is a projection of human traits and desires. For instance, in 1841, Ludwig Feuerbach would theorize in his best-known work, The Essence of Christianity, that the Christian conception of God was really the outward projection of man's inner nature, famously saying that religion is the dream of the human mind. But even in dreams, we do not find ourselves in emptiness or in heaven, but on earth, in the realm of reality. We only see real things in the entrancing splendor of imagination and caprice, instead of in the simple daylight of reality and necessity. Like modern critical theorists, he would criticize all aspects of ancient Greek life. Xenophanes rejected the value of sports and clearly favored philosophy. He disagreed with the glorification of athletes and wrote a number of poems on proper conduct at symposiums. Keep in mind that these weren't your parents' kind of symposium. Oh no, because while the word today is often used for big business and industry conferences, when we're talking about an ancient Greek symposium, we're talking about wine parties. The word literally means to drink together, and it's going to be the subject of its very own video coming up next week. I hope you're excited, and I'll see you then.